I just get singing, coming down the plate, you know, flowers flying. I've been around a bit. I'm kind of tough. But at the moment, I am living in two worlds because I'm having almost total recall of that world and this world and my previous lives.
Yeah.
Now, I'm almost, and I will say this with Jim sitting there, I'm almost a basket case. But he's known me for years. And I've been through hell. And I'm still here.
Okay.
And I'm as ornery as ever, and I'm going to be around for another year or two at least, maybe a little longer, because I have not finished yet what they wanted me to do. But I'm sitting here with you this afternoon telling you that I have been there many times. And I am living in two worlds with full memory of previous lives. And it's difficult for me to deal with.
Okay.
And I want you to think about that because you may be confronting some of this yourself if you haven't already.
Well, I have to say that I have, and I believe more and more people are. And, you know, this has to do with the, you know, the different waves of people that are here on the earth at this time, as you know. And this is part of the reason that I feel it's so important to reveal what you're talking about.
I think it's important, or I wouldn't be sharing this with you.
Yeah.
And one of the triggers that really got me convinced of it was an old friend, Neil Freer. Now, I prodded Bob Brown to bring Neil in as a speaker this year. I prodded him to bring Jim Nichols in as a speaker. I'm not a speaker, and I was happy with that. Neil had the courage, just this last year, to write a white paper, which he submitted to the web. Yeah, I got a copy. I gave a copy to Brown last year. Neil came out and openly admitted that he has had a relationship with non-human intelligence since he was 7. And I thought, you old codger, you've got the courage. Why the hell don't I have the courage? And being a coward for all these years, and I've shared many things. I really did. I've shared many things. I've even had threats on my life. Those bastards even put out a contract on me some years back. And I was informed of that by a friend in DIA. Because I had stopped being merely a nuisance and I had become a threat. And they were setting me up for one of these one-car accidents or, you know, whatever, or a coronary, whatever. They have these means of doing that. And then I got a word from another friend in an agency, a retired friend of mine from military service, who said, hey, they pulled the contract on you. You're not in danger anymore. And I says, what happened? And he says, apparently they got the word from a higher authority, which he didn't clarify who this higher authority is. But they lifted the contract on me, and I've been blithely dancing down the path ever since. And I've got a couple of good years ahead of me, and I'm going to continue to do it.
Okay, well, let me just say that you're not a coward. You're the last person on the planet that would be classified that way. But I appreciate the humility that makes you say, you know, that in relation to Neil coming forward, you know, in relation to his ET experiences. Now, you did talk about this on tape with us.
Yes, briefly.
Okay.
But I never really...
But you never
opened up completely about it.
Right. Okay, and so actually that's what you're doing today, and more power to you because of that.
I want to leave one more thing with you before we close this up. I told you this at dinner last night. I was astounded. You know, I've seen so many things. It takes very little to really astound me anymore. I mean, good God, when you remember your previous lives and you remember being in their world and in this world, and when I learned that they have the capability not only to manipulate time and matter, and you talk about type 3, maybe type 4 civilization, I was confronted with a reality that even today still stuns me. That you or I or any of us can be taken, invited, gone aboard, taken a trip with them, be gone 6 or 8 weeks, and then come back in your bed 10 minutes after you left, after having been gone 6 or 8 weeks. Now I say to my dubious friends, my skeptic friends, put that in your damn pipe and smoke it and realize that that is a reality. We're dealing with technology that can manipulate matter and time. And you better damn well get yourself prepared for what you're about to face. Because if you think quantum physics is a shock, you ain't seen nothing yet.
So we're talking time travel, right?
Of course.
We're talking time travel. We're talking time travel in, along with ET experiences. And we're also talking portals. And actually, I don't think you have mentioned the word portal in the past. And I'm curious if you can describe what, in other words, if you went through a portal, you went through a portal in a craft, or you went through a portal, you stepped through a Stargate.
Let me tell you.
Have you done that?
The first memory I have of going through a portal was in the back seat of an automobile.
Okay.
On a highway in southern Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Now, years ago that would have got me committed, that statement alone. I was in the back seat of a car with a couple of them, and we were going down the highway in this near Ajo, Arizona, which is not far from the Mexican border, and we went into a fog, and the next thing you know, we went into a portal. And I had about an hour and a half, 2 hours of missing time.
When you say you were going down the road with a couple of these guys,
Mm-hmm.
were they physical here on the planet with you, or
Yeah,
was this
they were physical.
interdimensional?
They were as material as I was.
Okay.
Flesh, blood and bones, yeah.
Well, now, you and I know that some of these, as you said, some of these people are walking the halls of the Pentagon today.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm wondering is if you have any regular interaction with any of those people.
I've had interaction with them from time to time. It seems like it was kind of a, a situation where, oh, well, we're here, let's chat. No, I think it's been orchestrated.
Okay. But what I'm going to ask you is to go down some roads that you haven't gone down before.
How much time you got on your tape?
How much time we got?
40 minutes.
Okay.
No,
So
about 20 left.
we've got another tape to go, so we're going to be fine.
Well, listen, kid, I know you. You and I have been around a bit together. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able, I don't have the fortitude to spend the entire afternoon here.
Sure, I understand.
But out of respect and love for you, I'll answer a couple of questions if I can. But if we really wanted to deal with this whole issue, we'd be here all afternoon and half of tomorrow. And we still wouldn't get all of it in, because it's that big.
Mm-hmm. But is it, well, let me ask you this, and you can take off on this topic, but my understanding is part of the reason they wanted you to talk and they encourage you to come forward, and you've been encouraged both by some people you haven't mentioned and also by them, as you say, and is because we have some things coming down the pipe in the next few years, and this is 2010 after all, that people need to be prepared for. And if they don't start realizing that there's more than one reality, and realizing that they live, that they have past lives and they're going to have future lives.
They live in an infinite universe with infinite possibilities.
That's right. That they're immortal beings, and so on. In other words, that's what's before them. They're going to have to, their mind is going to have to take that in, so it better start somewhere.
Listen, you and I are players in this game. We're contributors. You're a major contributor. What you've done with Camelot is, I told you before, you have no idea the extent and the scope of what you've accomplished. You've reached the world. You turned me into a damn celebrity, and I didn't want to be one. The point I'm getting at is